Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. The most interesting thing about this fight for me is the fact that it's happening on 420 day. Other than that, I find very little intrigue in Garcia versus Haney, or Haney versus Garcia. And the reason is, I feel that both Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, even though they're fighting as professionals, the way they fight is like advanced amateurs. And what I mean by that is they only ever fought amateur boxing as kids in the junior division. And they never fought in the grown adult men's division. Had Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia stuck around a little bit longer in the amateurs and fought grown men, they would have been forced to up their game to a whole new level. Both Devin and Ryan would have been forced to learn how to fight on the inside, how to cut off the ring, and how to use angles far more effectively than what I see either one of them doing in the ring. Both Ryan and Devin rely on very fast, straight in and out motion. So whether, and jab reliant, but just a touch jab for the most part. And Ryan, of course, does have great hand speed, but he's completely reliant on that, it seems like. Even his left hook to the body, left hook to the head, I mean, it's great that he can play those off against each other and set somebody up so they don't know if it's going to be a left hook to the body or it's going to be a left hook to the head. But that's still done in a very linear fashion, meaning either he's moving in or straight out, or the opponent's moving straight in or straight out, and then Ryan fires that left hook. And I'll not take away from it, he's got terrific timing with it, but my point is still that it's still a very linear track. Devin Haney is a little more advanced in his movement. He relies on straight in and straight out, but then he'll start circling around either to his right or to his left a little bit, and then go back to going straight in and straight out. So both Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia are still playing what I call the amateur tag game. I mean, in a lot of ways, amateur boxing is like a game of tag, but you can only touch the other person from the waist up, and you can only touch them to the front of their body. It doesn't count if you touch them in the back. And so, because you get the same amount of points, you're a point fighter, right? You only get the same amount of points for dropping somebody. That if you drop your opponent in an amateur fight, you get 1 point. If you touch them with your jab in amateur boxing, you get 1 point. So dropping somebody is deemed just as significant as landing one punch. So what's the incentive? The incentive is just to touch somebody up, pepper them with punches, and rack up these points. And the telling factor with Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia is, I noticed the poster they put out on social media refers back to their amateur records, right? Like it says Haney versus Garcia 3-3, meaning they fought 6 times as amateurs against each other, and I guess they're even, right? Like Devin won 3, Ryan won 3 as amateurs. Now the fact that they're still hanging on to this just shows me, like, you are still, like, this is an extension of your amateur career. If you're still going to hang on to this, hey, we're tied right now, and this is going to be the tiebreaker. It's like, no, as Jordan Peterson says something about, at a certain point, you got to burn off parts of your personality or something, or parts of your identity that you no longer need. My opinion, when anybody becomes a professional fighter from the amateur ranks, you have to burn off your identity as an amateur athlete. You have to just let that go. It's wonderful what you accomplished or what you didn't accomplish as an amateur, but just let it go. We're starting anew. You're starting with a new record. You have no fights. Your first fight, hopefully you're then 1-0-0, right? But as far as a professional referring back to their amateur career, and that should only happen in the lead up to them making their pro debut, if they had a significant amateur career, right? That's what you got to put in the press release, right? What you accomplished as an amateur, because you haven't accomplished anything as a pro. as soon as you hopefully get your first win as a pro, you should then just never mention the amateur career again. And you should just say, hey, I'm undefeated. I'm 1-0-0. You know, that's you got to turn over that new leaf. And I feel like both in the ring and maybe even in their mindset, you know, Ryan and Devin are still, they just never burned off that amateur mindset of themselves as fighters. They never burned off their amateur identity as a fighter. They certainly did in terms of making money. You know, they're making great money, and their appeal to their peer group is unparalleled. I mean, in fact, that's what I expect. I expect a lot of 20-somethings and younger to tune in to that fight. Even the young casuals, right, who don't know anything about boxing, will get caught up with the hype for Haney Garcia and pay for the pay-per-view. I have a funny feeling that more seasoned boxing fans will have very little interest in that fight. Who do I favor? That's a tough one. I think in a sense, I have to give it at the moment to Devin, mainly because he does know how to use angles a little bit better than Ryan. Now, Ryan does have the speed. He probably has a bit of a height advantage. I'm not sure, but you know, if Ryan really bears down on himself and gets everything super sharp, he could wind up winning the fight based off his super fast jabbing and his left hook. If and it's a big if he knows, if he comes with a clear game plan, and number two, then here's a big question mark. You know, he's got to listen to his corner. He can't just go out there and do his own thing. And that's what I'm not sure if Ryan has that mental skill set yet, because we've seen him not listen to his corner in his last two fights, and not listening in very sort of crucial ways where he was being given either clear-cut instructions that he went 180 from, or, you know, he just started doing things that I'm sure that Derek James never told him to do, like lean away and bend over with your head down towards the ground, like, and so your opponent hits you in the back of the head. Like, I'm sure Derek James never taught him that motion in the gym, no matter what. So that's it. I mean, I don't have a lot to say about Haney Garcia just because I'm personally not that interested in it. The fight I am interested in is a heavyweight fight that's coming up earlier in March. So if you're interested in that heavyweight fight, I'll make another video about that. So thank you for listening to this. Tell me what your thoughts are on Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. Are you gonna watch? Are you gonna pay if it's pay-per-view? I mean, who do you have? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks.